Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And week 12 in the NFL was insane. It was a massive problem, I guess, if you were looking at some teams completely tanking, completely giving up. And then you have games like the Cowboys and the Commanders. Let's go into it here. So, in the Cowboys Commanders game, not much was going on in the first half. It was 3-3, and then there was an explosion of offense. Well, let me first start with this. Both defenses were playing well. And then all of a sudden, things started to happen. Dallas started being able to move the football. The Commanders were starting to move the football. And then you had some weird situations. The Cowboys were up 27-17 late in the game. The Commanders proceeded. Actually, let's go back. For the Commanders to make it 20-17, they had to go down the field, score a touchdown, as they did, and then go for two, get it, to make it a 3-point game. Then the Cowboys special teams, who had been bad all day, there was a blocked punt, there was a blocked field goal, there was a missed field goal. The kick return for the Cowboys, Kevontae Turpin, who's one of the more dangerous kick returners, returns it back 99 yards for a touchdown after, in the beginning of the kick, was unable to corral it. Picks it up, does a spin move, and off he goes. That makes it 27-17. Then you had the Commanders go right down the field. Kick the field goal, get it. Need the onside kick, can't recover it. Dallas has the ball, but is proceeded to not be able to do anything with it, punting it away, trying to take as much time off the clock before doing so. Then, a complete lapse of defense as Terry McLaurin gets an 86-yard touchdown on the Cowboys just didn't cover him, and he just ran free. No one tackled. No one did anything. It was surreal touchdown. So now the game is tied 27 all. The Commanders decide we need the ball back. We need the ball back. How are we going to get the ball back? So we're going to onside it again. This time the Cowboys recover it. But instead of recovering it and going down, Wanye Thomas, one of the Cowboys' backup safeties, decides he's going to run it in for the touchdown. Proceeds to do so. And then that was the end of the game. Oh, actually, before that, the game wasn't even tied because the Commanders, after scoring the touchdown, Austin Seibert missed the extra point. He had never missed an extra point this season. He missed 2 yesterday. He missed a field goal as well. So that's why they onsided it. Instead of Dallas just recovering it, kneeling it down, and calling it a day, Wanye Thomas decides he's going to run forward, score the touchdown, win the game indefinitely. I mean, I get it. But what I took from this game was The Commanders have the same issues the Cowboys had for the last 3 years. As in, going against good opponents, they're not great. Going against bad opponents, they're really good. Dallas was a bad opponent, though, so you're like, well, that doesn't benefit at all. But then also, the things that happened over the last 2 years, the inability to stop the run. Rico Dowdle, the Cowboys running back, 86 yards. They pitched it to CD Lamb a few times, handed it to CD Lamb a few times. They made some plays. They went and did everything possible. And on top of that, your defense for the Cowboys and Commanders both played well. It showed that the Commanders' defense worked really good. But the Cowboy defense didn't give up on what Mike Zimmer is selling. They are still playing hard. They're still fighting. And for a team that hadn't won a game in over a month and a half, to continue to do that was impressive. Because that was legit how they did anything in the first half was their defense. Now, in talking about that, we got to go to the Cliff Kingsbury offense. We start getting there. Oh my gosh, look at this offense. This offense is fantastic. And every year that Cliff Kingsbury calls an offense, the offense starts off hot and then dies off. So what's happening? 3-game skid. The offense is not doing anything. They ran Jaden Daniels. They ran him. He made plays. But this Kingsbury offense starts off hot, gets really cold, doesn't do anything. It's that simple. Next up, Lions at Colts. Colts ended up losing this game 24-6. Don't feel bad if you're the Colts. That was actually a closer game than I thought. That really was. I went to halftime and the score was 14-6. I was like, dang, what's going on? Jameer Gibbs had 2 touchdowns. Montgomery had a touchdown. I mean, don't need to do too much. It's really that simple. And then the Colts, I mean, offensively, they're a mess. So let's move to the Chiefs, who on another offense are a little bit of a mess. Chiefs ended up beating the Panthers 30-27. And if you recall, I said this on the podcast on Friday. I said it on Wednesday here. I'm going to again say it. I probably said it on Monday too. The Chiefs, if they don't win big, if the Panthers either win the game or make it a close game, we need to have a conversation. Well, it's time for that conversation. It is time for this conversation. We need to have it. This game was 20-6 at halftime. Chiefs were winning 20-6. Ended up winning the game 30-27, and at one point this game was tied. That's an issue. I'm going to look for the notification, actually. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Can I find it? Oh. This is the headline. Chiefs walk it off. Chiefs fend off a late rally by Bryce Young and the Panthers with a Spencer Schrader 31-yard field goal as time expires. I mean, you can't make this up. You really can't. A game that the Chiefs, they needed this win. They needed it. But also, it shouldn't have been this close. Why the Chiefs are becoming the Atlanta Falcons, I don't understand. Like, I really don't get it. They don't do enough. They do enough to win the game. They don't do enough to win a game actually within like the last 5 minutes. I don't know why. They just don't. It's frustrating. And we got to have this conversation. Local media won't. National media won't. Definitely won't. But we're going to have this conversation. Whether it's this week, next week, the week after, whatever. We're going to have this conversation. Now, it won't be today. But Wednesday, we may have this conversation of saying, look, you play the Raiders. Gardner Minshew's out for the year. It's Desmond Ridder. Maybe Daniel Jones. If you don't win by a lot, we're having this conversation. We're going to have this conversation Wednesday, but we may have it again on Monday. Moving on to the Patriots at the Dolphins. For whatever reason, Patriots can't win in Miami. As the Dolphins won the game 34-15. Tua had 4 touchdown passes. It was not a good game. Patriots, I don't know. Like I said before, I don't know why they can't win in Miami. They don't do well. And I think if you look at the offense, I didn't watch the game, but I guarantee you New England probably didn't move the ball well. So that ends that. And for the Dolphins, they're on a little bit of a win streak here. They're winning some games. Granted, their opponents are not the best, but they're winning some games. They still got the Jets. I believe they still got the Jets twice, actually. So you'll take that. And you still got the Patriots one more time. You can make a little run here. It would be all an ideal. Moving on to the San Francisco Green Bay game. Green Bay winning the game 38-10. This game for San Francisco, look, we said it on the podcast. Brock Purdy out. Brandon Allen in. I thought they would go with Joshua Dobbs. They chose against that. No Nick Bosa, which I didn't know until after the show. It wasn't a good game for San Francisco. Turnovers, mistakes, the inability of stopping the Packers. It was all there. It was all there. There was at times the 49ers offense looked fine, and then there was just complete backfiring. When you have a backup quarterback, you can't make mistakes. Not like that. And you were. So moving on to the last game we did for Sunday was Eagles at Rams. Eagles winning the game 37-20. I really don't want to talk much about the game. I want to talk more about what the Eagles are. And the Eagles are this. If Saquon Barkley does not become Superman, they don't win. It's that simple. Because they have a negative play. Or they're 2nd and 20. Or whatever. It's Saquon, save us. And he'll make something happen. And it's a 3rd and 1. Okay, now we do the tush push and let's go. And that's what they do. That's really what they do. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It really is. It's a boring way to play offense. But it's the best way to play offense for them. I get it. But it's legit. Saquon, save us because we can't do anything else. And then I want to lead into it with late in the game. The Rams are down think they're down 10 at this point. They are going for a they're going for it on 4th down. They get a penalty on 3rd down. And they didn't get the 1st down anyway, so it was like, okay, let's decline the penalty and make it 4th down. That's smart football. So that's what Nick Sirianni did. Okay, fine, no issue. Then he sees the Rams huddling up on the offense with the offense and going out to the offense, going to the line of scrimmage, and says, wait a minute. Like, he's waving his hand like as if he's like a little kid. He's like, no. I changed my mind. I want to go and accept the penalty. I don't get this. It's the dumbest thing. To the point that Chris Collinsworth, who later in the game said Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley could both be in the MVP running, which I don't understand. It's Saquon Barkley, and that's it. Like, Jalen Hurts hasn't done much of anything. He's been fine. He's been okay. But it's Saquon Barkley. That's the reason you're having success. It's Saquon Barkley. But then you have this guy who he made a call. He declined it. Boom. Done. See you later. Why on earth are they saying, yeah, you can change your mind? Which is what Chris Collinsworth was saying. He's like, you declined the penalty. You don't get to change your mind. You don't get both sides of this coin. It's truth. You don't. So why are they giving it to him? Especially when we're moved at the 4th down. They're huddling already. You can't change your mind. The thing should be like, okay, they haven't huddled yet. They're kind of standing around, trying to figure out what they want to do. And then, okay, yeah, we're going to change our mind. That's fine. But they were already huddling and already moving to the line of scrimmage, and you changed your mind. They had already, the rule should be, once we place the ball down, you can no longer change your mind. You got to live with it. I don't get why they give this clown any room like that. That, to me, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's so annoying. It's like you have the best defensive coordinator, probably in the NFL right now. You have the best, one of the better offensive coordinators on your team right now. You have the best running back. You have one of the better quarterbacks. You have one of the better wide receiver groups. You have one of the better tight end groups. You have one of the better offensive line. You have one of the better defensive line. Why is this guy thinking he's doing it all by himself? I don't get it. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. And I don't like it. Moving on. So let's talk about the Giants. They cut Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones could sign with there's, according to Jake Glazer, 10 teams that could be interested. Okay. With the Ravens, and I think they said the Ravens and Vikings being the most likeliest, which is a strange thing to say, but whatever. He could sign with a practice squad. I don't know why they made that a report, but they did. I don't know. But the thing is, he could pick and choose any team he wants to be on after 4 p.m. So, he'll wait. pick and choose whether he wants to take a job like the Raiders or he wants to take a job like a backup quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. He could do that too. Giants star Malik Neighbors called out team for playing soft versus the Buccaneers. Brian Dable was like, well, we doing this. We are doing this. It's like, dude, there's obviously issues with this team. You can have as much talent as you want. But there's obviously issues. It's not just the quarterback. You can't protect the guy. It's the only other guy to throw to is Malik Neighbors. That's it. Darius Slayton's good for like 3 catches a game, and that's it. Like, that's all you're getting as I'm trying to make sure I got everything. It is what it is. You had Baker Mayfield score a touchdown doing the Tommy DeVito celebration, and no one tried to stop him for the Giants. That's how defeated they are. To the point, I was looking at a tweet yesterday. It said, I've been covering the Giants for a very long time. And it looks like the Giants, the team in the locker room, the players have completely gone against what Brian Dable said. Dable had completely lost the locker room. I don't disagree. I don't. It's crazy, but I don't. And the last thing I want to do is for the Eagles fans. So Eagles Brandon Graham, who was in his final season, he said that this is it, has torn his triceps. Now, he's still a good player. It's possible he just doesn't end his career like that. It's very possible. But it would be a sad way to go. He's still a good player. He's still one of the better players. As much as I don't like the Eagles, I respect players who play for them. And I don't want players to get injured. I don't want Brandon Graham to get injured. I think him playing makes the game interesting. Him not playing, the game misses that kind of production. I think it's that simple. So let me know in the comment section. Who will win the NFC East? And what is with the skid with the Washington Commanders? For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hubert. Out.